For most athletes, senior day is more than just a game, it's a farewell, a thank you, a final chapter in a story they've written with sweat, sacrifice, and soul. It's the one day when stats don't matter as much as sentiment. When the scoreboard fades into the background and it's the hugs, the speeches, and the tears that define the moment. For families, teammates, and fans, it's a front row seat to a deeply personal goodbye. And sometimes what happens on that day, just for a few minutes, transcends the sport itself. From surprise reunions to last-minute heroics, these are the stories that made the final whistle feel like the start of something bigger. The Knapp Center was buzzing. It was senior day for Drake basketball, and the crowd came ready to celebrate their graduating players. One of them was Jacob, a senior guard from Denmark who had spent 4 years thousands of miles from home. Jacob had accepted early on that his parents wouldn't be able to attend. Distance, schedules, and finances made the trip nearly impossible. He'd FaceTimed them the night before, telling them he loved them and that he understood. But what he didn't know was that they had planned something special. As his name was announced and he jogged to center court, he turned and saw them. His mother and father standing with flowers, smiles, and tear-filled eyes. The crowd gasped, then erupted. Jacob froze, overwhelmed. He walked over, embraced them tightly, and the arena fell into a mix of cheers and tears. That moment, a hug between a son and his parents, became more than just a tribute. It was a reminder of sacrifice, distance, and love that stretches across oceans. It spoke to the heart of what college sports mean, a personal journey filled with unexpected joy. That night, Jacob didn't score the most points, but he walked away with something far greater. The memory of being truly seen, truly celebrated by the people who mattered most. But sometimes the most powerful senior day moments don't come from the stands. They come in the bottom of the last inning. The scoreboard was tied. The bases were loaded. It was senior day at Boston College, and Tatiana Cortez stepped up to the plate for what could be her final at-bat in a college uniform. Years of training, setbacks, and triumphs had brought her to this moment. Her stance was steady, her eyes locked in. The pitch came, cracked. The sound echoed. The ball soared high, deep, and over the fence. A walk-off home run. Her teammates poured onto the field, swarming her at home plate. Cortez, arms raised, was crying before she even finished rounding the bases. It wasn't just a win, it was the perfect ending. The kind you don't script, because you don't think it could actually happen. Her family was in the front row, sobbing. Fans stood frozen, hands over their mouths, then erupted with applause. For a brief moment, time slowed. The sun caught the edge of the ball as it cleared the fence, and the whole field was bathed in something close to magic. In sports, closure is rare, but for Tatiana, that final swing was everything. It was the culmination of years spent grinding when no one was watching, practicing when the stadiums were empty. It was the kind of send-off only sports can deliver. Pure, raw, unforgettable. Some moments are destined to live forever. This was one of them. But not every senior day moment is about the scoreboard. Some moments stay with us because of how much a player gives just by showing up. Aaron Harris wasn't the flashiest player on the court, but he was the kind you build programs around. Dependable, relentless, unshakably loyal. Senior day at Michigan State was emotional. Harris had battled injuries, critics, and the pressure of wearing a Spartan jersey. And now he was walking onto the court for the last time. He didn't drop 30 points, he didn't hit a buzzer beater. But what he did was leave every ounce of effort on the floor, diving for loose balls, locking down on defense, encouraging teammates. The performance wasn't flashy, it was heart. After the game, during the ceremony, Coach Tom Izzo's voice cracked. Teammates stood beside Harris, many of them teary-eyed. The crowd stood and applauded not just the player, but the man he had become. The respect in that gym was palpable. Even opposing fans clapped. Because everyone knew this wasn't just a player exiting the court, it was a warrior stepping away from the battlefield. Some legacies aren't measured in points. They're measured in presence, in character, in the kind of leadership that doesn't always make headlines, but leaves an imprint on everyone in the locker room. Now imagine this, playing your final college game, and turning to see someone in the crowd you never thought would be there. It was a warm, quiet evening under the lights in Florida, senior night for the Florida Southern College soccer team. One of the seniors, a defensive central midfielder, had accepted that his father, a man he hadn't seen in over 2 years, wouldn't be able to attend. Work, distance, and family obligations made it seem unlikely. Then, just before kickoff, as players lined up for photos, there he was, his father, standing at midfield. The player dropped his bag and sprinted. They met in the center of the field. No speeches, no cameras, just a raw, emotional hug that felt like time stopping. Throughout the match, he played with a fire the team hadn't seen all season. Every touch, every tackle had meaning. He wasn't just playing for a result, he was playing for the man who gave him his first ball, who coached his backyard kicks, who taught him to never quit. Sometimes the best gifts aren't trophies or stats, they're presence. They're being seen. They're knowing someone crossed the world just to say, "I'm proud of you." But what if your senior day wasn't just a goodbye, but a badge of honor in a college landscape that doesn't value staying? At the University of Virginia, staying 4 years in a basketball program is becoming a rarity. The era of transfers and one-and-dones has changed the game. But on this particular senior day, the Cavaliers honored a group who stayed the course. They weren't NBA-bound stars, they were players who had given everything to the program. Practice after practice, bus rides, film sessions, wins, losses, brotherhood. As each senior was introduced, the arena erupted. Families embraced their sons at midcourt. But it was during the final speech that everything hit. One senior, fighting back tears, said simply, "We didn't leave. We built." In that moment, the stadium stood still, because staying, committing to something bigger than yourself, means more now than ever. Their coach echoed the sentiment, calling them the glue that held the team together, year after year. They weren't just players, they were culture setters, foundations. They left something that couldn't be measured in wins, a legacy. But for some players, the impact goes beyond teammates and trophies. It lives in the hearts of the community they touched. The Oregon Ducks women's basketball team has always been known for its strong culture, but their senior day took that legacy to another level. Before tip-off, the arena dimmed. A video began to play on the scoreboard. Fans, professors, trainers, janitors, even local kids shared one message: "Thank you." Each senior watched, wiping away tears, as faces from across campus and town told stories of inspiration, kindness, and leadership. One message stood out. A young girl, maybe 8 years old, looked into the camera and said, "Because of you, I know girls can do anything." The seniors didn't just play, they led, they inspired, they made people believe. Their impact stretched beyond basketball courts into classrooms, homes, and dreams. That night, the game almost didn't matter. The legacy was already written. Because when a community gathers to thank you, that's the real scoreboard. One senior later said, "We thought we were just athletes. But that night, we saw we were role models. We mattered. We changed lives." And when the final buzzer sounds, what remains isn't just the stats. It's the hearts touched. The lives changed. The families, both chosen and born, that come together for one final chapter. Which senior day moment hit you the hardest? Or do you have a story of your own? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear how sports touched your life. If these moments moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories from the world of sports. Every athlete has a story. Help us tell more of them.